Now in today's video, I'm going to share with you how you can create with the Eufy E1 a stained glass effect on acrylic that's going to really catapult your business. These are really popular items. I see them on social media all the time and also on several marketplaces. And it just takes seconds to make. So the process in this video is I'm going to show you how you can take a standard photo, then using the power of AI, convert it into a stained glass model, and then use the Eufy E1 UV printer to actually create it. And check this out. This is one model that we created. I have a sheet of paper behind it so that you can see what it would look like. But if there was sunlight, this is what it would look like. And then here's another one that I created of our family, right? So this is our family. And I took a normal photo and then I converted it into a stained glass effect. This just takes seconds, guys, to make. So in today's video, again, we're going to go through the steps. I'm going to show you how fast it is and how you can take something like this and turn it into profit. Let's get right to it.
All right, so the very first step in the process is to start with this prompt. You are a stained glass expert. After you do that and you upload your photo, all you have to do now is tell the system or ChatGPT that it should convert that image into a stained glass portrait and hit enter. Now it's going to go through the process, and there's refinement that you can do as this process is going on. You can have it lighten up, you can ask it to go darker, you can change the format. There's a lot of different things that you can ask it to do, but this is right now just the standard process. Now, depending on the network time, or I guess what's going on with ChatGPT, I found that at times it could go faster, I found that it could go slower, but this is what you will have to wait for the image to come back. Now, once the image will come back, what you're going to do is, again, make any kind of adjustments via text prompt if you'd like, or just take the image, download the image, and then you would then upload it into the Eufy Make software so that you can then print it. And you can see that the image is already starting to appear here. Now, what you'll notice is as the image is starting to appear, there's already a couple things that I don't really care too much for. And you'll notice that on the faces of both of my boys, there are lines, which is part of the stained glass thing. But I want their faces to be clear. Now, just like you see Nilda's as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a prompt to reduce the stained glass effect around the faces. That way the faces are clean. Because I like the way the bodies came out. I like the way the hair, everything was interpreted, but still really don't care about having the lines going straight through the face. So we're going to go ahead and see how well it does with this change after I provide that prompt. All right, so now the photo is starting to come up, and let's see what this looks like. And I'm starting to like it already. So you'll notice that at least as it's starting to reveal the faces don't have any lines in them. Both of the boys seem to be clear, which is what I want. And now we're going to continue to see what else happens when we go into Nilda's face. And this looks good so far as well. You'll notice that the stained glass effect has taken place around all the elements behind them, and even though they have the stained glass effect, but it's much more subtle, this is exactly the look I was going for. Now, I have found that at times, ChatGPT and most of these programs don't do a terribly good job of getting the likeness of the person very close. And I would say that, obviously here, the picture and there's some differences in the faces, but the actual layout, the actual location is pretty spot on. So what we're going to do is, for this, we're just going to download it now. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that download button right there and download the actual image. All right, so the very first step in the process is you're going to go to the actual upload, right? And we're going to upload the image that we just created. And you can see I have several images that I've uploaded. I'm also hitting the snapshot button so that I can actually get the background to show up so I can see how I have to size this. Now, there's a couple things. When you hit that button, it's not just taking a picture of your bed, but it's also taking a height measurement of your bed. So it's actually doing the calibration to see if the material is present and what's the thickness. If you don't have material on the bed, the system is smart enough to basically stop. Like it won't print unless there's something there. And I thought that that's pretty cool. But you could still, get your snapshot as you're going to see here. So the snapshot does take a couple steps because it is a two-step process, taking a step and then doing the laser measurement. And then once it does that, we're going to go into sizing. Now, what you'll notice during the sizing process is that sometimes it's a little bit hard to see how you're sizing it. They have added this ability to make the image opaque when you're moving it so that you can see what's behind it. But what I typically do is I make the image itself lighter. All right, so now you can see that the bed actually showed up. I got some painter's tape there because I'm going to have some overspray, and that's just the nature of when you're dealing with any kind of print. I want an edge-to-edge print, so that's why I put the tape so that I don't get actual any ink on my bed. Now I'm just going to go ahead and select the image, and I'm going to start grabbing. Notice how it gets kind of transparent so that you can see the actual acrylic itself. Acrylic is hard because it's acrylic, it's clear. So I'm going to just fuss around with it a little bit just to kind of get it into position. And then, as I mentioned, at times what I'll do is I will make the actual piece clear so that I can actually see more what's going on. Because when you make it clear, the background, the outline is still present, but the actual background itself disappears. So this one, because of the format, I had stretching it and having it retain its proportions is a little bit difficult. So that's why I'm just pulling over to the side so you can see it. So you notice right here, I'm just going to reduce the opacity so I can see where things are to see if things look good. And I got to make it a lot smaller because you can see how small this thing is. And I was actually getting confused with some of the previous prints I had done and the outline of those prints. So now that I've seen it, what I'm going to do is resize it and then kind of position it so that there's some overspray because I want edge to edge, but just not enough where it becomes overly wasteful. And you can see by the prints that I've done before how there's just a little bit extra. And that little bit extra just gives me that really nice feature when it's edge to edge. So we'll go ahead and make some adjustments here. And then once we're set, we're going to go ahead and hit print. One key thing, always return your opacity to 100%. You want to go back because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. The next thing is I'm just going to go with CYMK because I don't really need white in the background because I want it to show through the actual glass when there's light coming through it. Right now, because I've already done the snapshot, it's just going to send it to the device, and it's going to come back and give me a preview of how much ink is going to be used. And you're going to see this. This requires almost no ink whatsoever. So let's take a look at what that looks like as soon as it pops up right here. And it's using 0.01 ink. That's pretty crazy, right? When you look at that amount, that amounts to, just pennies, like 4 cents.
So guys, see you in the next video.